you agree that what they did is not good?
No, what I mean,
you just said it now. So
calm down.
You agree that what they did is not good?
What you need to be specific about what they did,
better than what they've done in that context of what, in quotes.
So in that specific sense, we need to diversify our export market. That is it.
Now, diversifying export market is still long term. We have crude in our hands. What will be your short term?
Long term, we have crude in our hands.
Yes,
we have crude that we approach others who we've been selling to before, and for others who we can't sell, who we've not been selling to before, for them to increase. So I think we should.
The quota that we over the years have been sending to the US, if that quota should drop, what should we do?
Obviously, it's going to drop.
So what should we do?
We should be asking Ojulari that.
This is Souq Business Landscape. Nigeria could lose nearly $3 billion in US crude sales amid Venezuelan oil shift. Yes, you heard that from us. Nigeria may face a significant drop in crude oil exports to the United States this year as US intervention in Venezuela reshapes global energy supply and chains and redirects Venezuelan oil towards American refineries. The shift threatens Nigerians' long-standing export relationship with its top market. Between January and September 2025, Nigeria shipped about 38 million barrels of crude oil to the United States, valued roughly about 2.86 billion. Now, a key source of foreign exchange earnings for Africa's largest producer. However, now, recent U.S. actions in Venezuela aim to control the market of Venezuelan crude, with Washington planning to sell up to 30 billion worth of Venezuelan oil into global market, increasing competition and pressuring global prices. Analysts are warning that a surge in Venezuelan supply will dilute Nigeria's share of U.S. imports and strain federal revenue projection tied to oil benchmark. With the Nigerian budget, that's 2022's budget, hinged at 64.85 per barrel, oil price assumptions, deeper export losses could complicate fiscal planning and heighten pressure on national finances. Now, there, Oyinpriye, the fair one, someone says the chickens are coming home to roast. Now we are seeing implications of what is happening in Venezuela directly playing out in our own climate, in our country, in our own planning, before it now start hitting global markets. How do we plan to absorb this shock or mitigate this shock?
Okay, first of all, I think it is equally very good to ask the question that before the intervention of President Trump on Venezuelan oil space and taking Mr. Maduro and interfering into the oil market in Venezuela, where was Venezuela exporting their products to sell?
Venezuela was selling globally.
No, they were selling globally.
And selling to India, selling to China, selling to...
Okay, so in this specific case, what Nigeria is losing is just to unite the market of the United States.
It's huge.
It's huge, yes, about $2.86 billion. That's huge. And we're losing market share with that. So it's not good. So we making up for that might take some time, except if as a country we are able to bring in more people whom we can sell to. And sometimes I just wonder, when this story came out and I was just thinking, let's assume Dangote's refinery was not in the picture. It would have been a huge disaster.
It would not have been a huge disaster. It could have been a comatose disaster.
Okay. And now we do not have other refineries that are supposed to come into the space because they are still in their development stage. And we all know that in the consumption of energy for India has grown up very well. And with the United States pressuring India to stop buying or to reduce the amount of crude that they buy from Russia, means that they are going to, try to cover for the shortfall, either buying a part of it from the United States and buying a part of it from other countries that they have affiliations with or bilateral relations with. And Nigeria should have stepped up.
India has also increased what they buy from us.
They call increased, but now they are going to have to increase more if we have to speak to them.
What if they don't want more?
Well, India's consumption daily is huge.
Now
Their daily consumption is huge.
Let's look at what the scenario is right now. Now we have a full cycle that has been resolving without issues. Any major issues, the crude price global either goes up or gets down. Now the US has always been a proponent of pushing the oil prices down.
Yes.
That's what they always try doing. In every of their bilateral, they try to control that oil sector, the oil industry. Now they have a hand in the neck of one of the countries with the highest reserve.
Largest reserve.
And they can get in and drill as much as they want. One of the major issues where the American companies and the Venezuelan the country were trying to take control of. And say, it is our country. We should have a say when it concerns us. Now they have that particular access. And the US government is saying, we are in charge. We are in control. Thanks to military power. Now they can decide to flood the market and push prices down. Saudi Arabia can also, it's good and fine if you flood, we flood.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, actually before now, the United States has been talking to Saudi Arabia to slow down. And they have the capacity to do about 10 million barrels and more.
They can double that. They can triple that.
It's not going to be good because this is where we get major of our foreign earnings for budgets. And
I'm looking at you as a major supporter of Trump. Now give us a solution for us on this side of the divide.
No, I don't think it is. Listen, I don't think it is. It will be nice if you say I'm as a major supporter of Trump.
But
I support Trump. Yes, okay. I do. Of course, one must pick sides in some issues, and I like that part of him. I'm not going to deny that.
Okay.
Look, what we are seeing here is that we have not been aggressive enough. As a country, we are most of the time reactionary. We are not proactive. Even before now, before I said it at the beginning, before the intervention of Trump in Venezuela, we should have made inroads to other places where our oils can be sold. Even before the intervention of Trump, about 2-3 weeks ago, last year, we said it, where some of our cargo of our ships for crude were lying there at our ports.
Looking for buyers.
Then Trump had not intervened in Venezuela.
Okay, but now the intervention has happened.
We need to sell. Okay. And we need to go out. There are other countries that will be looking forward for, and most especially with the fact that our crude is light, sweet, and good. The Venezuela crude that we are talking about, can it replace the Nigerian crude that the United States refineries has been, feasting from? That's another question for us to interrogate. If it is not the same grade with the Nigerian crude, I bet you the United States will still have to come back. They may not do as much as the 38 million barrels that they've been importing from Nigeria, but I tell you, it's not that the United States buying crude from Nigeria is going to be zero. It's not going to be zero. It's only going to be zero.
You're speaking on behalf
it's only going to... Okay, so what is the grade? What will be the grade of the Venezuelan crude?
They have the crude. They have the crude.
Yeah, they have the crude, but we also know that this crude comes with grade, some of which are very, very good for some industrial purposes that others are not.
We understand. Now, this is where the cross of the matter is. If they don't even take the crude into their refineries, they can push the crude into the market.
They push it to the market, but our 38 million barrels to the United States market, even if not the 38 million barrels, we still have something that we are not going to lose that completely from the United States market.
Hold on. Now, see where the issue is. If we send whatever amount of crude, whether higher or lower, in quantity to the United States, but the prices are going half the price of crude, what happens?
Yes, of course, we will still be losing. Okay, so currently now the Brent crude is selling for about $61. It's between $60-61, and the West Texas Intermediate is selling for between $56, $58. But for recently, the Nigerian crude still sold within, still went for about $78 recently.
Bonnie Light?
Yes, Bonnie Light crude. still went for about $78.6 per barrel in the global market, outperforming the global benchmark like Brent crude and the WTI. We know that from what there is no gainsaying the fact that we are going to be affected. However, this is the time. That is why this is not the time we would have done that 1,000 months back. I wanted to say 1,000 years back.
That's Stone Age.
Back, but it's not late. We need to start expanding local domestic refining capacity. We need to do that.
When you say we need to do that, these are not things you do in a month or 6 months or a year. It's, you plan, you forecast, you get it done. But right now,
if we have done that a decade and a half ago, yes, we would have gotten somewhere very, very laudable by now. And also,
put yourself in the president's shoes right now. And Ojulari, who
I don't think anybody wants to be in the shoes of Mr. President and Ojulari at the moment.
Let's try Ojulari right now, because he must provide solutions.
Yes.
What will you do? What will be your immediate short-term plan?
Short-term plan? Well, I don't know. But it's obvious that we need
What will be your immediate short-term
plan? We need to diversify our export market. That is it.
Now, diversifying export market is long-term. We have crude in our hands. What will be your short-term plan?
Long-term, we have crude in our hands.
Yes, we have crude that we are
we approach others who we've been selling to before, and for others who we can't sell, who we've not been selling to before, for them to increase.
To increase what they are buying from us.
Yes, because we're not going to force them. That this is market. We need to sell. And like I said, if the East include
Africa,
everyone, if WTI is still selling between 58, 57 or around 50, 51, and the Brent crude is between 60 and 61, and ours recently still sold for 78.
It's not 78 anymore.
It recently sold for 70. Of course, we know that it's not going to be 78 anymore with recent happenings. However, we're not going to go down that way. Yes, it doesn't gainsay the fact that we're still going to lose.
Oil prices crash 50% for
yes, people. But I think at the moment, the United States will not just want to crash the oil, go in there and just destabilize the market and crash it. It will give them a way. It will be, for lack of a better word, better than what they've done actually. So
you agree that what they did is not good?
No, what I mean,
you just said it now. So
calm down.
You agree that what they did is not good?
What you need to be specific about what they did.
Better than what they've done in that context of words, in quotes.
So in that sense, in that specific sense, we cannot say that we need to look inward. Of course, we need to look inward and diversify our. I say diversify our export market. We need to expand our export market, both crude and non-crude. We need to expand our local or domestic refining capacity. Refining capacity. Were you able to even meet the benchmark that OPEC Plus gave you as a country?
Okay, so
you were not able to do that. We are requesting to expand it to get to 2 million. We are still working on that. So I think we should.
The quota that we over the years have been sending to the US, if that quota should drop, what should we do?
Obviously, it's going to drop.
So what should we do?
We should be asking Ojulari that.
Okay. While he takes himself off the picture of Ojulari, we will tell ourselves this. We need more refineries, definitely. And we will show better if we refine and sell finished products. We will make more money and also have more jobs in our hands. So let's encourage the BUA. Let's encourage the other smaller modular refineries to come upstream faster because we really need them. Then also, let's tell ourselves some basic truth. No matter how the West paints and gives a media narrative, Africa can buy African crude. Africa can buy African finished products. Yes, we can. So let's also explore that particular venture. Then for OPEC, what is OPEC doing? That's what we are waiting to see. What is OPEC going to say when Venezuelan crude hits the market?
They should not wait. Now, OPEC should have a delegation that should be on their way to the United States to go speak with Trump. Because while we were on break, you said something. If Donald Trump had said he's going to flood the market with You said Venezuela was doing about 1 million barrels per day before now.
Theirs were not specific. They were never meeting.
They were not meeting, and they have the capacity to.
They have the capacity.
And the United States recently said they are going to provide funds to revive the infrastructure that will enable them. That will enable them to, to have the capacity to be able to develop at the level which they are expected to. So that should send a signal to OPEC. OPEC, Saudi Arabia needs to send a delegation to the United States now and start having a conversation. Because by the time they have the capacity from Venezuela to bring in about 2.5, 3 million or 5 million barrels per day into the market, it's going to send it crashing. And I tell you, I don't think you'll be smiling on this table when we are having this conversation. So in order to prevent that, there are some other countries who may not really suffer more. But like you rightly said, we need to, in diversifying our export market with regards to crude, we need to start going to other countries within Africa as well, because I don't think Nigeria, Algeria, and other 5 countries within the continent of Africa that is known for having good capacity to produce crude equally, fed that market the way it is, to the way or satisfactorily. I don't think so. So we need to make inroads there. And like I said, OPEC needs to send a delegation to Donald Trump and to have a conversation that, look, please, do not crash the market.
Okay.
We need to do that. We shouldn't wait for them to finish, putting a finishing and rehabilitative touch to the infrastructure in Venezuela and we hit the market there. It's not going to be good for us.
Okay, dear OPEC, before you follow Priyer's advice and send a delegation, also push this note out there. Tell people not to buy Venezuelan oil.
Not to buy Venezuelan oil?
Yes.
Okay, if that means OPEC should tell who not to buy Venezuelan oil.
Tell whoever is buying not to buy
Venezuelan. What did Russia do?
Russia will not buy Venezuelan oil.
Of course, but what did Russia do when the European Union
they all
put an embargo?
They all came together
in Europe. Not to
don't buy.
What did they do? They started selling for subsidized amount, and they were selling subsidized crude. That is even the reason why India was busy. Yes, we know. That was the reason why India was profusely importing from Russia and all of that. And because
it's not just because of the subsidized. It's a partnership. They
had a partnership, of course, by way of through the instrument of BRICS and all of that. Yes, but the way and manner India was importing from Russia sent a signal. It rattled the United States, and that's even why. First of all,
the same Europe that were openly saying ban, were they not buying Russian gas?
Did they reduce their volume of buying? Didn't they reduce their volume of buying
after blowing up the pipelines?
Didn't they reduce? Huh? They reduced. So what I'm trying to say, Chooks, is that if OPEC comes out to want to flex that muscle, it should not be the first. What's it called? It should not be the first call. The first of all, of course, the first.
Let them just put the call out there so that everybody can have a bargaining chip when they get to the table.
The first call is what do they stand to lose?
What
to the United States? What do they stand to lose?
Have the oil in your hands and refine it yourself and keep it in your borders.
Let me tell you, no, it's not keeping it in their borders. Remember, India has reduced the quantity and the volume they buy from Russia. Guess who they are buying from? Are they not buying from the United States?
Hold on.
They are buying from the United States.
Because of the tariff regime.
Great, because the nations, they need to stay afloat. And because they need to stay afloat and they feel they don't want to flex muscle with the United States, they need to be on the safe side now at the moment. They are equally, they reduce the volume they are buying from Russia. They are buying from the United States, and they are buying from other countries. They're equally buying from Nigeria. So the United States, by virtue of its influence, can equally start telling some of their allies to increase or to keep buying, to buy from them, because now they are going to have more capacity and more volume of oil to flood the market with. And if OPEC comes in that guise to say, look, do not buy Venezuelan oil, do not buy United States oil market, it's going to be another round of economic war that most OPEC plus countries do not bargain for. And we know that Saudi Arabia can survive that. But can you survive that? So
if OPEC should speak with one voice, they can get the US on the table.
OPEC cannot speak with one voice.
No, yes, they can.
Let me tell you something. The influence, the same influence that the United States is wielding will also be used in that case. And some OPEC members might buckle.
Hold on, Priya. Now, it doesn't matter over time when OPEC plus, if they align if they align and speak with one voice, the US will come to the table. Let's not give them that.
They didn't have the issue of Venezuela at hand at that particular moment in time that had threatened their economic strength and their economic power.
They have always had issues with Venezuelan oil.
No,
always.
But you also said that Venezuela have not been meeting their OPEC quota.
Of this same issue.
If they have not been meeting their OPEC quota, that means OPEC stands to gain, and countries like the Saudi Arabia and others who have the capacity to get more crude out there, they are the ones that stands to gain. Not even Nigeria, which has not been meeting its OPEC plus its OPEC quota.
Let's get to see what OPEC is going to do, because
they have options, but before they start flexing
authoritative muscles
before
they
OPEC gets into the boxing ring with Donald Trump, first of all, they need to negotiate. They need to talk to him that, look, don't flood the market. I'm not saying OPEC should negotiate from a weak position or they should be spineless before the United States. No, they need to first of all negotiate that, look, please don't flood the market because you are going to do this, that, and the other to the economy of nations who are even your allies, and you do not want to do that. If that is the route you are going to go to, you are going to end up making more enemies for the United States. I know probably Trump will not want to listen to that, but he might want to listen to the voice of reason, because that is equally another avenue to bring OPEC to table. And it's going to be trading conditions, both from OPEC and the United States. But if that is not going to be the case, and both OPEC and the United States, or maybe OPEC and Trump in this specific case, will want to knock arms together, who stands to lose? Is Saudi Arabia going to lose? Will Nigerian lose?
Who stands to lose? Both sides, though. But let's not think that one particular side of it has the ultimate power to this kind of issues.
No, I'm not talking about power. I'm talking about influence.
It doesn't matter the influence. OPEC has a call of duty right now, and we expect them to really wield that, because, as I tell you, winter is coming.
Yes, winter is coming. But if Donald Trump can wield the influence of the United States to break through to one of the most populous nations in the world, and irrespective of their strength, through the instrument of tariff and other diplomatic instruments, to make them cut down on the subsidized fuel that they've been getting from Russia,
is interest.
Then that is same influence.
Is interest.
Interest should be driving everyone.
India had to cut down on the amount of crude they were taking from Russia because of interest, national interest, because they also have a whole lot of trade going on with them and the United States.
Yes.
So they also want to protect to a particular extent. And they know that it's also affecting their economy in one way or the other. So it's all about interest. It will get to a particular point when the US will also have to think and look and say, okay, if we continue in this path, it will be productive for us.
Because of the
price
influence
of consumer goods are going up there, hope you know.
Yes, because of the influence, because of the relationship the European Union has with the United States. When Donald Trump comes with that product into the market, are they going to buy?
Well, that particular question will be theirs to answer.
Great.